If you're just getting started with your first online business, getting to 10,000 MRR, 20,000 MRR, or even 83,333 MRR, if you know, you know, can seem incredibly overwhelming, almost impossible to imagine. If you're already on track to hit these goals, that's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're not, maybe you're not even close, maybe you haven't made your first dollar online yet, then this video is for you. If you're just starting out, you should focus on hitting your first milestone of $1,000 monthly recurring revenue. And in this video, I'll show you 4 ways that might not be big million-dollar SaaS ideas, but they will get you to $1,000 MRR much easier and faster than most other approaches. Let's go! Let me start by showing you a few popular indie tools and see if you can spot what these have in common. It looks like they're all cutting-edge AI tools, right? Well, they kinda are, but there's a catch. It's not easy to see, but if you were to open these tools and look under the hood, here's roughly what the underlying architecture would look like. These tools are what we call wrappers, and it's the first approach I would consider. They basically take existing technology like OpenAI, Replicate, and 11 Labs, which are created by some really smart people, then use the API for these tools and wrap it in their own UI. So the scope of these tools is really just a front end. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking these founders down. They are incredibly good at what they do, which is spotting a great business opportunity and then marketing it on social media for profit. Some of these tools are generating tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly, and as more emerging new AI technology pops up, I think there's a ton of potential here. Right now, they typically use OpenAI to wrap text-based SaaS products such as chatbots and content writers. They use Replicate to run diffusion models used for image generation. And they use Luma to create video from text and use 11 Labs to create speech and audio. But new tools pop up all the time, and many of them offer API access from the beginning. Of course, the biggest downside is that these tools aren't cheap. So the trade-off from building a wrapper is that you'll rely on some other tools that eat a good bite of your margin. But then again, if you're aiming for a tool that's easy to build, easy to maintain, and can get you somewhere in the $1,000 MRR range fast, then I would definitely look into building a wrapper instead of building a more complex product. The next approach I will consider is something that takes a bit more time to set up initially, and in most cases requires a little more technical knowledge. However, once it's created, it has the potential to generate revenue more or less passively. The idea is simple. You're going to sell something that saves other people a ton of time so they get to sell what they're building much faster. I am, of course, talking about boilerplates and starter kits. And yes, I know, there are a ton of boilerplates on the market already. So why would you build yet another boilerplate? Because the market is always evolving. And even though there are a lot of boilerplates out there, many of them are either outdated, bloated, or missing key features for today's tech stack. Remember, this is heavily tied to preference. There's almost always room for another tool, even if it's just a slightly different version of something that already exists. Some people will prefer yours. What I've seen work well is focusing on a specific niche or tech trend. For example, maybe you create a boilerplate specifically for SaaS startups that integrate modern tools like Stripe and Tailwind CSS out of the box. Or maybe you focus on something that developers can use as a foundation for their own products, like a ready-made template for an AI-powered app that leverages OpenAI. Heck, you could build a wrapper boilerplate that will help people build wrappers faster. What's great about this approach is that once you've built the boilerplate, you can sell it over and over again with very little maintenance. And as more people discover your product, it essentially becomes a passive income stream. The key here is making sure your boilerplate truly solves a problem and is well documented so people can get up and running with minimal friction. And boilerplates aren't just for developers either. There's an increasing demand for pre-made design systems, UI kits, and no-code templates too. So if you're more design-oriented, this could be your opportunity to create a resource that helps designers or no-coders save time. And remember, you don't need to become the lead boilerplate or dominate this market in any way to produce $1,000 per month consistently this way. Okay, let's explore something a bit more futuristic. This isn't really a fully developed market yet, but it's definitely coming up. A year ago, OpenAI announced custom GPTs, and people immediately saw a huge business opportunity here. Some people even called this the new App Store. a marketplace where you can build custom GPTs, specialized agents that you can market and sell directly from OpenAI's platform. And it flopped. No one's talking about this anymore, and I don't think anyone in their right minds would pay to have access to a custom GPT today. Mostly because, let's face it, they suck. They don't really do anything different than the normal ChatGPT. But that doesn't mean the idea itself is bad. One of the SaaS products I run is 8base, which is an AI-powered support tool, and one of its primary tasks is to train AI models on users' data. And what I can tell you is, if you're using the right techniques, you can absolutely make a custom chatbot really good. I have an AI version of myself hosted on my website. I call it Simon AI, and I have people talking to it, picking my brain every day. Now, mine is totally free to access, but I am absolutely convinced that you could charge for a highly specialized AI chatbot like this. If you're a lawyer specializing in something specific, you could train a custom AI model on your expertise and sell access at a low price. If you're a fitness coach with a specific expert domain, you could create an AI agent trained on fitness plans and nutrition advice tailored specifically for people with specific dietary needs. If you're a financial advisor with expertise in using specific investment instruments, you could create an AI agent that will give advice on exactly this. The key here is specialized knowledge. ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, they're all really good, but they're very generic. I firmly believe that people would pay to access specialized domain-level AI agents, especially if they're backed by training data on real-life experts with the right credentials. The only catch is, you can't use OpenAI's custom GPTs for this. They do utterly suck. You need to go through the trouble of fine-tuning your models. Though, it's not as hard as you might think, and OpenAI has excellent documentation on how to do this. Would you like a video where I show you how to do this? Please leave a comment below and let me know. Alright, let's shift gears. When most of us hear monthly recurring revenue, we think about SaaS. Typically, when we talk about more traditional service businesses or e-commerce businesses, we don't use the term recurring revenue, even though both agencies and e-com businesses are heavily focused on repeat buyers too. If you're a freelancer or you run an agency, I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about here. But imagine if you could capture these repeat buyers on an actual subscription, just like you would on a SaaS, but for your agency instead. This is exactly what some small agencies have started doing, and it's working surprisingly well. You might have heard about popular design agencies like Design Joy or Design Me, but this could work with any kind of service business like web development, marketing, social media management, and so on. And here's the trick. To make this model sustainable, you have to productize your service. So what does that mean? It means turning your service into a packaged offer with clear deliverables that are repeatable. Instead of custom tailoring every project, you set boundaries on what you'll provide each month. For instance, a set number of designs or updates to a website. This way, the work doesn't pile up and you can serve multiple clients without burning out. By prioritizing your services, you make it easier for clients to understand exactly what they're paying for, and it makes your life way more manageable because you can systemize and streamline the delivery. But why would customers want to sign up for a subscription like this in the first place? The answer is simple: peace of mind and convenience. Some businesses don't want to be constantly searching for freelancers or agencies to solve small problems that pop up every month. They need ongoing support, and they want to know that they have someone reliable to handle it. Whether it's updating their website, creating new graphics, or managing their social media presence. Let's say you charge $500 per month. You only need 2 clients to hit that $1,000 mark. 4 clients at $250 per month. You've hit your target. Now, the focus on these 4 approaches is to get a monthly recurring revenue of $1,000, but none of these ideas are restricted to that. In fact, most of the examples I brought here is making much more than that. So while these ideas are, I would say, great beginner-friendly business ideas, there's nothing that prevents you from scaling this into $10,000 or $20,000 MRR. If you want me to expand on any of these approaches, let me know in the comments and I'll consider turning that into a video on its own. If you got value, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you soon for another video.